Well, hello, friends. Glad you could join us. Welcome to the Lusail Circuit in Qatar for what should be a fantastic sixth round of this Monkey Mafia esports series, the fourth season of which as well. Hotspot on the call. I hope that you've had a very good, happy Thanksgiving, and if you're not from America, I don't really know what the hell you've been doing, but I hope it's gone well. Tonight, once again from Lusail, let's go you through the starting grid for tonight's Grand Prix. It will be that of the V-Carb of Ayahuasca, 121.315. Good enough for the pole spot. King Pro Player was close enough in second at 0.2 of a second behind. The other V-Carb of Caesar in third, DWCJ fourth, Gab fifth, Cam Tizzle sixth, Granny seventh, Lancey eighth, ninth is Slayer Eyes, 10th Charlie Golf. The pair of the Willies 11th and 12th are slightly intoxicated friend of Reimer in 13th. 14th is Yo My Monster, which Reimer may need some Monster. Well, Monster doesn't really help hangovers, does it? I don't know. I don't drink. Monster in 14th, Gatillo 15th. The pair of the Alpines, 16th and 17th, and then 18th is El Capitan in the Ferrari. JC Auto Labs and Gasboy, 16th, 17th. Yeah, I hear Reimer has indulged in some of the clear liquids tonight, whether or not that's going to affect his racing tonight. Well, we'll have to wait and see. But this Lusail say that's probably the. By the way, this is probably the worst, absolutely worst track to drink on tonight. Anyway, this Lusail circuit is definitely it's very tricky because not only is there not a lot of overtaking room here, there's really not. How do I put this like politically? Let's act like a politician, you know. This track, while it has its flaws, it's also still a great racing circuit. There is loads of action everywhere you look. We think that it can provide a great race tonight, and yeah, we're excited to see what it brings to the table. That sounded pretty professional. Anyway, no, this track is quite difficult because there is really only the one DRS section down the pit straight into that first corner. I will be fair, it's a very fun first corner. It's very long. It's very sweeping right-handed first corner. It's pretty fun, and on this opening lap, it's going to be fun as well. And then through the rest of the first sector, and then sector 2, it is just about getting together a good rhythm and not making too many mistakes. This track, mind you, is not purpose-built for MotoGP, but MotoGP is probably the most prestigious racing category that has came here prior to Formula 1 since 2021 and reoccurring since 2023. But we are here in Qatar. Once again, going to be a fantastic race, this. Once again, when we see those lights going, it is go time. There's no formation lap here in Monkey Mafia. Shame we haven't had the... what do you call it? Updated in a little bit the points. I'm assuming Reimer's still atop the table. Again, he won 4 out of the first 5 Grand Prix, Vegas being the only outlier. But here we are. Potentially, can he do good from that 13th position? It will take a lot of doing. But maybe can he find himself some luck and some good vibes here? 3 lights, 4 lights, and 5 lights on here in the desert. And once again, in the Monkey Mafia Esports Series, we are away, and Ayahuasca's gotten a good start. King Pro Player to the inside, side by side. It looks as that's Caesar who's gone up the middle. Then the top 2 were on the hard tires. Caesar was on the mediums, and the pair of the Toro Rossos as they were, the V-Carbs as they are now. First and second making their way through the first sector. It looks as if Cam Tizzle and DWCJ battling it out behind. It looks as if Gab has gotten up to 4th as well. As they make their way now in towards the second sector, it does still appear that Caesar is in control of this Grand Prix as they file their way through. Reimer's up to 10th since the start, and Yo My Monster and Gatillo battling it out towards the back as they make their way now up through turn 7 and in through towards 8 and 9. Cam Tizzle's gotten down the inside of Gab, as well as DWCJ having a bit of a peek to the right side of the Red Bull as well, as they now snake their way through the second sector. Monster's gotten around Jacob. Capitan has gotten around Gasboy. I believe that Alpine's got a poor start. Round the outside is Jacob of Monster as they go through now. Turn 11 in towards the triple right-hander of 11, 12, and 13. 12, 13, and 14. Again, difficult section to corner this. Got to look out for track limits, as we've just seen. It was either Lancey or Granny's had a bit of a go then. The car gets unsettled, and plus the time penalties is not something you want to accumulate. Down the pit straight they go. Granny and Charlie Golf said, oh, that's a car that's gone off to the inside. That's our intoxicated friend of Reimer, who's spun out of control, exiting that final corner. It doesn't appear he's hit anything too bad, but he has fallen down to 17th. Much as he'd probably failed to step on the white line correctly, he's failed to keep it within the white lines, as Caesar still leads Ayahuasca by 6.5 tenths, who leads King Pro Player by 3 tenths as they make their way through Sector 1. Now the double right-hander of 4 and 5. Positions gained and lost. Cam Tizzle up 2, Caesar up 2, Lancey, Charlie Gulf up 2 as well, Capitan up 2, Autolabs, Gatillo, Monster, Anime Boy also making up position off the start. Reimer, as we've mentioned, down 4 positions. DWCJ has lost 3. Just 29 laps of Grand Prix coming your way tonight. Halfway decently quick lap times, but still should see some interesting tire strategy. Only 5 have gone hard for this evening. Gazboy's come in, and he's just put on some fresh softs right now. The rest of the grid has stayed flaccid, medium, as we make our way. Sorry, that one was a bit forced, wasn't it? Gab's still within about a tenth of Cam Tizzle here. This is going to get interesting now, as second, third, fourth, as Ayahuasca is not going to have DRS here. Is it a proper train behind him? Let's see, does anybody make any moves down this pit straight? Ayahuasca will not initially be challenged by King Pro players. We have a yellow flag at the back. That is Anime Boy, who's gone round, and he's actually spun closer towards the pit lane. 13 to 18, that is your pit window from mediums to hards. Slayer Eyes gets to the inside of Granny. Whoa, that sounds a bit odd, doesn't it? Anime Boy has retired, our first retirement of the session. Cam Tizzle 2 tenths of a second behind Ayahuasca as they make their way through 6. Trying to find their way through now. Lancey 2 tenths of a second behind Gab. Gab's going to be our first 3-second penalty recipient of the day, after that infraction there in which you've just seen. Charlie Golf within a tenth and a half of DWCJ here as they make their way through Sector 3. Coming up next, turn 15. Left-hander, which leads to this bit of a straight here towards the final corner. Right-hander, turn 16. Reimer's now a 3-second penalty. Down the pit straight they go. Let's see if Ayahuasca can make something happen to King Pro Player, or potentially Cam Tizzle behind. Cam is going to have a quick look to the outside. King Pro Player kind of moves his way there. Does concede the position to Ayahuasca, but next up is Cam Tizzle. Could lose another one here. Round the outside, looking for it. Oh, he's done that well. Going through turn 3. Nicely done for Cam Tizzle up to 3rd. Charlie Golf trying to find position as well on DWCJ. Reimer appears to have gotten round Gatillo, and he's got Monster in his sights now. To the inside, bit of a lock up there on the brake, and still trying to keep it spinning on the curb, and well, Monster's going to get better of him there, only just. Making their way now through 10, 11, and eventually into the triple right-hander once more. Reimer and Monster, and it looks as if Monster's just gone off track. 3 tenths between Cam Tizzle and Ayahuasca as they make their way through turn 14. Not much of a braking zone this through 15, more of less a downshift, maybe 2 at the absolute most. Coming now through the final corner, 16. Ayahuasca's going to be in a world of hurt here, as Cam Tizzle does, in fact, have the DRS behind him. Peeks to the inside, and he'll have that one. Not easily, but he's had it. He's made it done. So Cam Tizzle up to 2nd. King Pro Player was not able to take 3rd from Ayahuasca as well. Gab still in 5th. 3 seconds of penalty his way. Lancey behind about 0.6 of a second. DWCJ as well. Charlie Golf. And that of Slayerized. Everybody within the positions 2nd through 9th, within a second of each other here. Good little stream of cars, this as well as Granny trying to get back within that DRS range as well. Jacob's behind him by about half a second. Capitan has gotten around JC coming out of turn 6. Now through turn 11. 2.5 of a second the gap here between King Pro Player and Ayahuasca. Down the pit straight they go. Ayahuasca around the outside. Back up to that 2nd position as Cam Tizzle was not able to defend that one without DRS. Charlie Golf around the outside of Slayerized here through turn 1. That's a bit of a bold one. And it looks as if he's going to be able to keep it through turn 2. It's very tricky, this. Has he been able to? Yes, he has. Will he be able to try to strike back again? Up through turn 4 and 5. No, not quite. Gab's got 0.3 of a second. Back to King Pro Player, and it has to be said, those guys still on the medium tires holding well. I'm kind of waiting to see if and when Caesar starts losing some actual time back to Ayahuasca. Of course, Caesar got such a good jump as he did because Ayahuasca was on the hards. I think Caesar has lost about 0.4 of a second. It's not ridiculous. He is still holding it in there quite nicely, but I think his teammate in there as well. Maybe could Caesar be slowing down, playing more of a team game? Wouldn't be totally unheard of, as Granny's going to get 3 seconds for multiple warnings. And down the pit straight they go. Ayahuasca still will not have DRS. Back to Caesar into the inside. Goes Cam Tizzle up to 2nd once more. Will Charlie Golf look around the outside of Slayerized? Yes, he does. Granny's also gotten around Jacob. Slayerized will have a peek back to the inside of the exit of 1, maybe through 2. No, not quite, but what I will say is this. Cam Tizzle is now within a second of the V-carb of Caesar at the top end of the grid. As we have a yellow flag, Monster's gone round. Monster's gone round, and I believe Capitan may have had a trip through the gravel as well. Bit of front wing missing for the Red Bull in question. The end plate on the right side, as well as that the end plate missing for the Ferrari ahead of him on the left side. Yes, it is. Maybe some contact. Oh, and that's a bit of a spin there for JC. Maybe some contact between Capitan and Monster. Monster's actually missing the front wing on both sides. Yes, he is. He's missing a lot more than we initially thought. Missing quite a lot of the front wing and the left front, more than just the end plate. Slayerized back within 0.4 of Charlie Golf as they make their way through 15 and then down towards 16 again. Down the pit straight this time, Caesar is only 0.4 of a second ahead of Cam Tizzle. Will Cam have an opportunity? Round the outside, Caesar's going to defend low. He'll push high in the braking. Cam Tizzle now round the outside. Will he have a look through 2? Not quite. Meanwhile, Ayahuasca could be getting closer to this battle now. Through turn 3, up through towards turn 4 and 5. Cam Tizzle's going to go for it on the inside of the double right-hander. Contact being made. Caesar's had to go off the track. And Caesar back again. Round the outside. Maybe will that open the door for Ayahuasca to the back end of Cam Tizzle. King Pro Player as well. Slide there for Ayahuasca. Cam Tizzle 10th and a half. Suddenly became a really good battle here at the top end of the grid. Meanwhile, King Pro Player also Watson in this battle. He's a little bit further behind and he's got no help. The two V-carbs are up there and definitely pressing, whereas Cam Tizzle is in a difficult position because if Caesar backs off and backs Cam Tizzle into the oncoming traffic of Ayahuasca, we could see the V-carbs take more of a 1 and 2 here. King Pro player, I think, has to play this one rather smartly. He knows that now, while Cam Tizzle is in between the two V-Carbs and Ayahuasca is in between Cam and King Pro, I think King Pro, this would be his best opportunity. Down the pit straight they go. Caesar's obviously going to be at the disadvantage here. No DRS for him. DRS for the three behind him. And to the inside is going to look Cam Tizzle. If he breaks later, he'll push high into the corner. 2 by 2 they nearly go as King Pro has a bit of a look to the inside. Won't commit to it. And Cam Tizzle's going to be unable to get that position. Although is still knocking on the door. Maybe as they exit 3 and they go through 4. Caesar defends the inside. Cam Tizzle will take the high side, and it's not quite going to come to fruition there. Although Ayahuasca's gone a bit deep into the braking zone, that time through 4 and 5, that could open the door for Gab as well around the outside through turn 6. Not quite going to happen. Ayahuasca definitely seems vulnerable now. Lancey trying to knock on the door and get in this battle as well. In a good position on his medium tires, having yet to use his energy store as seen. 100% for him, Cam Tizzle. What's that say now? That's about 63%. Caesar 63 as well. Not only is this a difficult track to overtake because there's no DRS, but there's not really any heavy braking zones to regenerate your energy store. It's difficult. You use it now down the pit straight like we're going to see Cam Tizzle do. There's really not much else position to actually get it back. How it works, again, the heavier you brake, the more kinetic energy is recharged then. As to the inside goes Caesar. Cam Tizzle left the inside. Wide open there. Still wheel to wheel, side by side, this time through 2. Paper thin margins as they go through turn 3 and up now through turns 4 and 5. Caesar still on the outside. Cam Tizzle, will he look to switch? Yes, he will, but he's going to get on the throttle slightly late, and that will not provide an opportunity of overtaking. Meanwhile, King Pro player seems to have gotten around Ayahuasca, as now the Mercedes of Lancey trying to find his way into this picture as well. 3 teams in the top 5. King Pro player to the inside of Cam Tizzle, that being through turn 7. They're still wheel to wheel. Through 8 they go, and it looks as if Cam is going to hold on position only just as now. Through turn 10 and 11, Cam Tizzle up to second. I think the big picture now is we start to look for tire strategy. Obviously, once again, we've got the pair of the Mercedes on different strategies as well as the pair of the V-Carbs. Remember those medium tires we thought were going to last to about lap 13 is... Oh, look at this. We've got King Pro player to the inside of Cam Tizzle. Ayahuasca's going to try to send it on the Haas as well. Through 1, it's not quite going to get there. As Charlie Golf and Slayer Eye side by side once more. These two have battled pretty well so far today. So as they make their way in towards Sector 2, DWCJ within 2 tenths, and Reimer's going to get 3 seconds of penalty here. Puts him up to 6, as well as Gab for that matter, as we get a yellow flag, as Reimer appears to have gone round. Yes, he has. So Caesar still leads the charge, albeit only 3 tenths of a second. Making their way now through the triple right-hander. 12, 13, and 14. King Pro within 3 tenths on Caesar as they now make their way out of 15. King Pro has a slight look to the outside. King Pro, I think, might drift a little bit wide through this corner and try to get some better straight line speed here, better acceleration. He's done just that as Cam Tizzle into the pit lane. Oh, only just kept it within the speed limit there. King Pro to the inside. He's going to take the top spot. Caesar got a little bit close to King Pro there. Nearly some contact on the back end. It's not happened. Slayer Eyes on the outside of Charlie Golf once more, as well as Jacob on Granny. Cam Tizzle onto the hard tires. He's done a bit of an undercut here as DWCJ around the outside of Cab. Up to the 5th spot there for the McLaren. Once again, the top 3 now still within about 7/10 of each other now. Lancey a little bit on the outside looking in, I'll admit. Still kind of in position to look and make something happen. Slayer Eyes 4/10 back to Charlie Golf as they make their way through. DWCJ still 0.3 of a second behind. Ayahuasca, it's going to be interesting. Will they look to swap round the V-carbs now? Of course, Caesar's going to have to pit in a couple of laps' time. Ayahuasca will not have to do that, still on the hard tires. As we are getting close to about halfway through this race. That'll be at lap 15, naturally. Out of the final corner they go. Caesar will enter the pit lane as... Well, that's interesting. That pit lane is different from what it used to be. It used to you have to go through... We'll go along with the McLaren of Reimer to show you what I'm talking about. It used to be the pit lane would actually come out to there. You'd have to go around in towards the inside. As it turns out, they've actually just done it then to the inside over there. Charlie Golf and Slayer Eyes now side by side. Charlie Golf once more. Good battle between these two. Never ending, it seems. So we have at least 6 cars having made stops here. Cam Tizzle on the hards, Caesar to the hards, Lancey to the hards, Reimer to the hards. Monster had pit approximately 4 laps ago onto the hards as well, as Reimer has decided to call it quits here. So half a second now between Ayahuasca and King Pro Player. What's interesting is that we don't know exactly how Ayahuasca is going to fare once he gets round King Pro Player, because genuinely, I think as well, we saw this V-carb, of course, he was 0.2 of a second quicker in quali. Those were on the soft tire runs that. So get this guy into clean air on the hards. There's not really a set outcome as to how he's going to do, but down the pit straight they go now, half a second the gap. Gab is our next taker for the pit lane on the in the Red Bull. As Granny's going to have a good look at Jacob here, potentially in that first corner. Nah, he's going to be a bit short. Pushes slightly deep into the corner. Yeah, that one's going to have to wait. So more pit stop takers here. Charlie Golf on the way in as well. Still yet to see any of the original hard tire runners from the beginning of this race to stop. Slayer Eyes is the only driver who started this race on the mediums who has yet to stop here. 13 laps old. Of course, JC Autolab's on his way in now. So Slayer Eyes, Jacob, and Granny, 4, 5, and 6. Good little battle potentially going on here. Of course, we think Slayer Eyes is going to be pitting probably any lap now. Jacob and Granny still have yet to stop from their hard tires. Cam Tizzle, who did a bit of an undercut, is actually 0.4 of a second behind Caesar and 13 seconds behind that 6th spot of Granny. So it's interesting to see if this is going to be a gamble that pays off here for Cam Tizzle. Again, at pit on lap 12, about a lap, 2 laps earlier than everyone else. Down the pit straight in the top 2, still yet to decide to stop. DWCJ follows in their footprints on that one as well. Slayer Eyes will finally bite for the pit lane. Oh, that's a bit quick. He has gotten it down. Just thinking now as they make their way, Cam Tizzle is going to get around Caesar rather easily then. Slayer Eyes onto the hard tires. I'm just thinking, what if we have a safety car towards the back end of this race? I'm not rightly sure what these drivers are going to decide to do. I don't think the soft tires are really in play that much. I think the mediums will definitely be the preferred tire. Especially for those fellas who started the race on the hards. I think they're actually going to have quite a good advantage here. It's going to be a tough ask, though. They're going to have to pit And, I mean, if we look at the interval now, Cam Tizzle 25.8 behind the leader of King Pro Player. The next guy in line who has yet to stop. See, every one of the top 5 is yet to stop. Cam Tizzle 25.9, so he has lost about a tenth there. As Gatillo is going to pick up 3 seconds for multiple warnings. Let's see. King Pro and Ayahuasca have still not came in yet. I believe these guys are going to be pitting probably around lap 18 would be my guess. As Granny's going to get Jacob into the pit lane now. One of the only remaining drivers yet to stop is those hard tire runners, as DWCJ has pit this time as well. Okay, so now just the top 3 have yet to pit here. Top 2 within 0.4 of a second of each other now. Granny 13.8 behind. Cam Tizzle always right close to Caesar here. Remember, this is for potentially the lead of the Grand Prix. They've got to keep it clean, and they've got to keep themselves from impeding each other. That's got to be the big question now, because realistically, King Pro and Ayahuasca are still pulling ahead. Despite being on those older hard tires, they're not really losing their advantage. The gap back from these top 2 to Caesar, 26 seconds. Back to Granny, 15. Once again, Granny has yet to stop. And Ayahuasca is going to be the first to bite. So Ayahuasca into the pit lane. King Pro Player stays out. What I will say for King Pro Player is that he's only just going to have himself now. He obviously won't have DRS, but he wasn't having it anyway. Having been ahead of Ayahuasca, medium tires on here. And we have a yellow flag. The Ferrari of Capitan has gone round. That being exiting turn, turn 6. Ayahuasca exiting the pit lane now. Here comes Caesar and Cam Tizzle, and Ayahuasca is going to be able to stay ahead. What a move there for Ayahuasca to have taken the overcut on the other guys, and it has worked. Cam Tizzle's undercut has not paid off. He has gotten around Caesar, but the question is now is it's going to be up to King Pro Player. 26 seconds up the road. 24, 25 up the road from Ayahuasca. It's a difficult question. The gap was less than that, I think. Or maybe about a second more between Ayahuasca and Cam Tizzle. That gap there. It'll be interesting to see if King Pro Player decides to go this time. Around the final corner and down the pit straight again. This will be the time. King Pro Player decides to come into the pit lane. Granny behind, 16-1. Ayahuasca 7-8 behind him. Cam Tizzle not really close enough to pressuring Ayahuasca now. On those medium tires, right quick. King Pro Player exiting his pit box now. Ayahuasca rounding the final corner. King Pro Player only still making his way towards the exit now. This one is going to be right close as they make their way towards the first corner, and Ayahuasca's going to get it only just. And King Pro Player exits this battle, and Lancey's going to overtake him now. King Pro Player has lost, what was that, 2-3 spots? Realistically, a net 4. Having done this overcut then. It's not gone well for him. Even more so than that, Caesar's going to bat Cam Tizzle down the road. Ayahuasca on quick, medium tires, fresh as well. Caesar on the hards, surrounded by as well Cam Tizzle, Lancey, and King Pro. King Pro on the mediums, but the rest there on the hards. Caesar is going to play the ultimate team game here and is going to prevent Cam Tizzle, I think, from getting a good look. Because even if Cam Tizzle gets round Caesar here with DRS, he's not going to be able to put together a second over the car behind, not on the hard tires equal to his. And I say equal as well, probably about 3 laps older. Huh. I guess I'm wrong. Although that's going to help Cam Tizzle a little bit. 3-second penalty for multiple warnings going the way of Caesar. That has left Cam Tizzle, Lancey, and King Pro Player in the battle for the remaining 2 podium positions. I will say this, though. Caesar's actually lost a bit of time there. Sorry, Ayahuasca's lost a bit of time. Cam Tizzle has actually gotten rightly close. I think Caesar, if he wants to keep position, has to start stepping on the loud pedal a little bit more. At the line this time will be 10 laps to go. Sleigh Rise has gotten around Charlie Golf once more. That's been a good battle all day between those fellas. Just a reminder to join us next time out when we head to the Yas Marina circuit in Abu Dhabi, as DWCJ apparently having some connectivity issues as it turns out. At the Yas Marina circuit in Abu Dhabi next time out for round 7 and round 8. The last race before the holiday Christmas break at the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg, Austria. Should be a fun one. Always a pleasure visiting Austria. But now at the line, 10 laps to go through the triple right-hander again. So Ayahuasca's got about a second, as now Charlie Golf, 3 seconds for him. That puts him up to 6th. Ayahuasca's actually down to within 7.5 tenths of a second back to Caesar. I think if Cam Tizzle gets a good run here, he'll be able to kind of help him out. But Ayahuasca, what he's doing, I think he's going a little bit slower, giving Caesar the DRS, preventing Cam Tizzle from taking that spot. Cam Tizzle, I think, kind of knows that as well, and right now is so woefully unable to make something happen to the 2 V-Carbs ahead as they're playing team together here. The 2 Mercedes trying to look around. I think King Pro Player will like to get around Lancey as quick as he can. He's still on the medium tires, probably the only one of the top 6 cars who is rather matching the pace of Ayahuasca, at least tire degradation-wise. DWCJ you could put in that mix as well in P6. Charlie Golf to the back end of Slayer Eyes through 4 and 5. Nothing there. Capitan has gotten around Monster. Monster way off to the outside in the desert over there. Gotten that car back going. As now it looks as if King Pro Player temporarily there wanted to get around Lancey. I think they're gonna have to do it with the DRS this time by. There's just no way I think Lancey can genuinely sit there and see that his teammate is on better tires and, you know, allow him to sit behind. And there it goes. King Pro will get around Lancey. As down the pit straight they go again. Cam Tizzle unable to climb back because we have a safety car. Monster has retired. That going up through turn 4 and 5. Ayahuasca and Caesar past the pit lane. Cam Tizzle as well. Gab is the first driver to actually be able to make the pit box here. I'm just wondering, where exactly has Ayahuasca gone off? Not Ayahuasca, Monster. That is just puzzling to me. I have not a clue where that Red Bull has gone off enough to crash into the wall. Maybe has he spun to the outside? It didn't really appear that he did on the mini-map. Just a strange incident that. But that leaves us now with less than 10 laps to go. And, well, it's a game-changing safety car. Well, this turns into a very interesting choice here for Ayahuasca and Caesar. I'm assuming these fellas are going to pit for probably the softs. Still 8 laps to go. Ayahuasca into the pit lane. Caesar's going to follow suit. That's going to do in Caesar, really. This double stack is... Oh! What's this now? Lancey's gone into the back end of Cam Tizzle. Front wing missing for the Mercedes. The end plate on the right side. Soft tires going on. He's going to do in King Pro Player as well as the crew is just not ready for the double stack naturally. Ayahuasca exits. Caesar is going to fall in behind DWCJ as well. The new top three looks like this. Ayahuasca, Cam Tizzle, and Lancey. DWCJ in fourth. Caesar, the only one medium in the top 11. Everybody else behind has gone soft. Gatillo, Capitan, JC Autolabs also medium for this one. So now, safety car on track. I would probably guess it'll be lap 24 when we get back going. Be 6 laps to go is my prediction once the safety car comes in here. Because there's just no way it's going to be done this time by. As we still wait for Granny, Gatillo, Capitan, and one of the Alpines. Yeah, I don't know. Difficult decisions, this. I don't really know what the correct outcome is going to be here, especially... I mean, these guys on the soft tires... I tell you what, this safety car was 2 laps earlier, 3 laps earlier. I don't think the softs are an option. I think they are now. They're not going to be good as JC Autolabs 3-second penalty, multiple warnings. DWCJ is... I don't even know what's happening here with him. I think maybe... Again, this safety car was 3 laps earlier. The mediums would have been the better tires. Softs were the only choice now this late in the race. It's difficult. I think now, though, it becomes a really interesting tale because Ayahuasca's got 2 very quick drivers behind him. And he's also got no help. Caesar is in no position to play any influence in this battle in the top 3 at the moment. Not even really the top 6, as he's got that 3-second penalty to his name. I mean, he'll have some influence here on track, but as far as results are going to go, he's going to be losing a couple of positions. So Ayahuasca will lead them back to green. Cam Tizzle will be second. Lancey will be third. Caesar fourth on the mediums. DWCJ, King Pro Player, the next 2 cars without a penalty, 5th and 6th. For Ayahuasca, he's got to put together a good gap now, because if he doesn't, DRS is going to come to haunt him here. That's just the truth. I think genuinely, if Ayahuasca does not walk away with this race, it's because he's not capitalized. And the drivers with DRS behind him have proved quicker and were able to get the job done. So we'll get back going on lap 24. 6 laps to go of racing here. All controlled by the V-Carb of Ayahuasca as they make their way only now in towards turn 15. Remember, Ayahuasca is the leader. The safety car is heading into the pit lane. It will be his choice when to go and get back up to speed. I think what he's going to do, he's going to get it so he kind of gets them accordioned in towards this final corner. Yeah, he's going to have a look now, and then he's going to go back on the brake. It's actually slightly worked a little bit less than I thought it was going to, but what it has done there, it has broken up Lancey and DWCJ just a little bit. So down the pit straight now, in towards the first corner. Cam Tizzle behind, 0.2 of a second. Lancey's closed in on Cam Tizzle. DWCJ actually a little bit farther behind. Caesar almost nowhere in that battle for the top 4, but is going to be holding up King Pro Player. Top 3 still file their way through turns 4 and 5. As Gazboy's got a 3-second penalty. That'll be his first track limits violations of the day. DWCJ still looking for it now. At the line this time will be 5 laps to go. And I think what Ayahuasca's got to do now, he's got to be able to hold them off. DRS will not be activated this time by. They'll have to wait until lap 26 to be able to use it. As Lancey, a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. That's awful at this stage. Oh, and that is almost totally tossed away any look at a podium for him. So out of turn 16 they go now. Down the pit straight. Remember, no DRS this time by. They will get it next time round. Cam Tizzle, though, still moving well enough to believe that he did have it. Energy store being used, 10.5 behind. 5 laps to go here in Qatar. Led by Ayahuasca, Cam Tizzle, the next closest competitor in second. DWCJ in fourth, looking to get around Lancey and now begin his chase for the battle of the top 2 spots. Although Lancey's going to try to hold off DW as much as he can, because realistically for Lancey, if he puts together enough quick laps, he'll be able to not lose a lot less positions with that 3-second penalty. Of course, a bunch of cars behind him also have them. Matter of fact, only 6 cars out of the 15 are without 3-second penalty right now. Making their way through turns 10 and 11. And then towards the triple right-handers of 12, 13, and 14. Cam Tizzle, 3.5 of a second behind. DWCJ to the inside of Lancey, and he's going to make that one happen. And now does reside 2 seconds down the road. So, realistically for right now, it is just a one-on-one duel for the win here between Ayahuasca and Cam Tizzle. Ayahuasca's going to have no DRS here. Cam Tizzle will have it and will more certainly have the position. Although next time by, Ayahuasca will look to probably have it back once he gets DRS. Lancey's going to get back round DWCJ. DW trying that break later on the outside. Wheel to wheel they go. McLaren's gone off track just a little bit, and Lancey's still trying to hold it. DW still to the inside, 0.2 of a second between the top 2. Lancey has gotten around DW, still up to third. 10.5, 0.2 between the top 2. 3 laps to go at the line this time by. As DW into the back end of Lancey, and now Caesar involved, and Caesar down to the inside. DW losing positions left, right, and center at the moment. As Jacob around the outside. Could Jacob find his way onto the podium? It'd be a bit of a tall order. But DWCJ, well, Jacob's got the penalty as well. Let's not forget that. King Pro Player kind of in the mix for that as well. Bit of a tap to the back end there. As Caesar to the... Oh, lots of contact there between DW and Jacob. As Lancey and Caesar swap positions up ahead. King Pro Player... Bit of a code brown as the 2 cars ahead of him make lots of contact. As King Pro Player now is going to go around the outside of Jacob. And King Pro up to 5th. In position potentially for the final podium position. As Ayahuasca to the inside. 3 laps to go. Gets round Cam Tizzle. Cam with no DRS as mentioned. It is all even on tire strategy. All even on energy store as well. 3-lap duel to the finish here between Ayahuasca and Cam Tizzle. Hopefully no penalties are picked up. Hopefully no mistakes are made. And we get ourselves duel of the fates here between 2 of the best. King Pro Player within 1/10.5 of Lancey. Lancey, if he's smart, will not hold up his teammate, and they made contact. Oh, naturally. think Lancey's got to look at the bigger picture now and allow King Pro player through. Lancey's on penalty. All this is doing is hurting King Pro's opportunity at position. He can get this final podium spot. He probably still will, considering Caesar only a second and a half ahead of Lancey. Lancey now up to 6 seconds. Slayerized up to 3 seconds. Gab up to 12. Out of the final corner. 2 laps to go now. Cam Tizzle 0.4 of a second away. And we'll have a bit of... What? Is that rain? Are you serious? Rain in the desert? There is no way we're looking at this right now. Who has done this lobby? Raining in the desert. Are you out of your mind? I hear that cloud seeding works pretty well. It seems to have happened here in Qatar as the rain starting to fall in the Middle East. This is just unprecedentedly insane. We still have another lap and a half of racing to go. 2.5, 0.3 a second at the most between the two. You don't expect they've packed any intermediate tires, have you? This is just one of the strangest things I've ever seen. Coming to the triple right-hander again for the penultimate time. The rain falling. Is the track going to be wet and greasy enough to affect these two? This is just strange. Oh, into the back end of Ayahuasca. Massive tap there. Cam Tizzle surely has picked up some wing damage. Yes, he has. Ayahuasca will surely be feeling the effects of that on the rear wing. Ayahuasca's fallen out of position. He's caught it back. Final lap of the Grand Prix underway. Cam Tizzle round the outside. Ayahuasca defends low. And Cam Tizzle, oh, and a bit of contact there. Cam Tizzle up to the point. Spinning out of the back is one of the Red Bulls. It's that of Gab. And now, oh, look at this, another bit of a tap there. Through 3. Heading towards turns 4 and 5. We've got a yellow flag. Down the pit straight they go. 4 and 5 now between Cam Tizzle and Ayahuasca. Rain still falling here in Qatar. Still 0.4 of a second. And still about a half a lap remaining. DWCJ retires. That being in the pit lane. Jacob getting around Granny as well. As King Pro player has also picked up 3 seconds of time penalty. It looks as if Caesar is going to be the driver to get that final podium position. But the battle reigns on between the top two of Cam Tizzle and Ayahuasca. The track definitely getting greasy now, as you can begin to see. Through 12, 13, and 14. Only 2 corners remain for the top two as they make their way through turn 15 on the final lap. Cam Tizzle leads, and Ayahuasca's picked up a 3-second penalty. And oh, bit of a slide there, and wow, what an unbelievable monkey wrench into the plans of this Grand Prix. It's going to be Cam Tizzle taking the win, Ayahuasca second, Caesar third. And the pair of the Mercedes cross the line 4th and 5th, but you have to think position's going to be changing now, and potentially Stewart reports on the way. Granny will take 5th, Lancey down to 6th, Jacob in 7th, the pair of the Saubers 8th and 9th, Gatillo 10th, JC Auto Labs 11th, Slayerized 12th, Gab at 13th, and Gazboy will be coming around the line next in, I would say, 14th once he gets around DWCJ. That's going to do it for us here in Qatar. Boy, you've never seen a rainy race in Qatar before, have you? Anyway, Hotspot, it's been a pleasure joining you once again. We'll see you next time out the Yas Marina Circuit in Abu Dhabi for round 7 of this Monkey Mafia Esports Series Championship.